9.4, graphing sine and cosine functions. We're going to explore characteristics of sine and cosine functions. We're going to graph sine and cosine functions. Okay, so I'm going to refer here real quick. We have like our unit circle here. So it starts at 0. It goes up to pi over 2 in radians, right? To pi, to 3/2 pi, to 2 pi. And then if it's my unit circle, I have a radius of 1. So it goes from this point, 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, and 0, negative 1. We know that our sine is our y, right? So sine is going to go 0, 1, 0, negative 1. And our cosine is going to go x value, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. Okay. So if I refer to this sine cosine function, we kind of have these numbers here, but I'm going to refer to the graph first. Okay, so first thing I want you to recognize is really at 0, we have 0, 0 for this sine. Alright, so here's our sine. So 0, 0. Alright, so then what it's going to do is it's going to go up to 1, right? And then it's going to go down to 0, and then to negative 1, back to 0, and then up to 1, and back to 0. So it's really following this. 0, 1, 0, negative 1. 0, 1, 0, negative 1. Alright, let's go back to this unit circle. And this graph is in direct relation to this unit circle. 0, 1, 0, negative 1. Back to the cycle. 0, 1, 0, negative 1. So really, when we talk about this sine or cosine functions, how we graph them, it's really this circle or cycle that we're going through. Okay, except we're going to graph it and it's going to look like this, kind of like this wavelength. Okay, alright, and the same thing applies here for cosine. Here's my cosine graph. Okay, and here I'm going to start with 1. I'm going to go to 0, to negative 1, to 0, to 1. Right here, cosine. Again, back at this unit circle. 1, 0, negative 1, 0. Back to 1, 0, negative 1, 0. And I'm hitting these points, right? Hitting those points. Okay, so that's really key. Another thing I want to point out here, in these we have something called an amplitude, and that's really from our 0, 0, or our midpoint, midline to the max value or min value. It would be the same. Alright, we have the range, is which it's bouncing in between, the range. And then we have this period right here, and this period is really that 4-point cycle. Okay, so here I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, I messed that up. So here I go 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. There's our 4-point cycle. Okay, and again, here's the range you can see over here. It's what we're bouncing these lines in. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to come up here. Now you understand that you probably need more explanation in how we're doing this. It's a tough concept, but just bear with me for now, and we'll keep on trying to walk you through it slowly. Okay. All right. So here's our characteristics: y equals sine of x, and y equals cosine x. All right. So first of all, characteristics: domain is always going to be all real numbers. Your range is going to bounce in between your amplitude. Okay, so in this case I have negative 1 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 1. So the minimum value of the function is negative 1. The maximum value is 1. So again, range in between your max and min values, and it's going to be really in between your amplitude. Okay, so that's where the graph of the function is 1/2 the difference of the maximum value and minimum value. Okay, so 1/2, 1 minus negative 1 is 2, and then 1/2 of 2 is 1. The periodic or period means that the graph is representative of a pattern. The shortest repeated portion is called the cycle, which is what we're going through, like a circle or cycle. And then the horizontal length of the cycle is called the period. And again, that's like a 4-part, just like these 4 parts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we're talking with this period. Alright, and each graph is shown at the period at 2 pi up above. And then we have our x-intercepts, so that's where it's going to cross the x-intercepts for both sine and cosine there. And if I just do sine here, it crosses at 0, right? Then it crosses at pi right there. You can see it right there, pi. And then it goes back at 2 pi, and then it's going to be 3 pi, 4 pi, and also crosses at negative pi on the other side, and then negative 2 pi, negative 3 pi. And again, it's all real numbers, right? So it's going to continue to go on and on and on forever. Alright, so there's what I was talking about. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flip it up, keep on going here in this explanation. Alright, so those were our parent functions. Now we do get into some transformations here, the stretch and shrink. And I'm just going to go here, you can read this, but y equals a sine bx, or y equals a cosine bx. The vertical stretch or shrink is the a portion. The horizontal stretch or shrink is the b, or 1 over b. Okay? Alright, so that's key. Amplitude and period. So the amplitude and period of the graphs are y equals a sine bx and y equals a cosine bx, where a and b are non-zero numbers. So what is our amplitude? It is the absolute value of a. Okay? Absolute value of a. What is your period? Well, again, that's the cycle, and that's 2 pi over the absolute value of b. Okay, 2 huge parts, and that's really where I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay? So let me go ahead and move that. I'm going to get started right here, and I'm going to graph this sine function. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to identify my amplitude. So I'm going to write A for amplitude. And here is my function. Oops, sorry. It says identify the amplitude and period of g of x equals 4 sine x. Then graph the function and describe g as a transformation of g of x, of our parent function, f of x equals sine x. Okay, so A is the absolute value of 4, which is just 4. Okay, first part. Second part, period. Period is what? Well, it's 2 pi over the absolute value of b. Well, what's b in this case? It's going to be 1. So it's 2 pi over 1, or 2 pi. Okay, so those are the 2 starting points each and every time. From there, I'm going to do 2 more things. I'm going to find the scale of my x-axis, and that is always going to be p over 4. P over 4, and that will change when we have some different manipulations, but for all these, p over 4. So 2 pi over 4, and then that is pi over 2. Alright, and then my last thing I want to do is my range, and again, that's where this amplitude comes into place. And the amplitude is kind of what they're bouncing in between. So this is our scale of our x-axis. This is our range where it jumps in between the y-axis. Okay, so this is going to be basically your amplitude. Negative 4 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 4. So it's always going to be the opposite of the amplitude and then the amplitude. Unless that's a negative. But bouncing in between positive and negative 4 if our amplitude is 4. Okay, so let me go ahead and graph this. And here we go. Let's start with our scale, okay? It is 2 pi, so that means from my x-axis here, I'm going up by 2 pi. So it goes 2 pi, and then I'm going to take that 2 pi and I'm going to multiply that by 2. So 2 pi times 2 is pi. And I'm going to multiply it by 3, and that's 3 pi over 2. and I'm going to multiply it by 4 to get to my fourth point, and that would be 2 pi. Then I'm going to multiply by 5 to get to my fifth point, 5 pi over 2, and multiply it by 6 to get to my sixth point, and that's 3 pi. I'm also going to do the same thing going the opposite way into the negatives. So I get negative pi over 2 and negative pi. Alright, there's our start there. Next, I'm going to go into our range right here. And basically, if my 0, 0 point is here, right, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, and down 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. Now, this is something I like to do a lot, and it's really, I'm going to make some dash lines here so you guys really know what you're bouncing in between. You won't believe how many people make a mistake of just not putting their points on the right spot because they just kind of get lost in the process because it's a multiple step process here. Okay, so this just helps me, and it can help you to just know exactly what we're bouncing in between with these dash marks, okay? Alright, so now, what I'm going to do is start to look to graph. Okay, again, amplitude is 4 up, 4 down, right? Phase is 2 pi, so that means that's where I'm going to end my graph. So I'm going to start at, I'll show that first. Okay, so where do I start? Well, there's actually a really easy way. If it's sine, and I don't have a shift right or left, or up or down, then I start at 0, 0. And if I start at 0, 0, that means that my fourth point, right, is my period, and that is at 2 pi. Now, let's go ahead and look at this. I can find it another way. For sine of x, okay, and what if I put x at 0, right? I'm going to solve for y. So if x equals 0, I have y equals 4 sine of 0, and y equals 4, what's sine of 0? Alright, well, let's just look back here real quick. What is sine? Well, it's my y coordinate, right? And right here, I have 0. Sine 0 is 0. I can look right there, okay? Sine 0 is 0. Now I have 4 times 0, which is 0, so I get 0. So y, get my starting point at 0, 0. Okay, and if that's, again, if you don't have any transformation right or left, that's always going to be the case. Now if sine is positive, which it is, right here, right, that means I'm going to go up. Okay, and you see my next tally mark from my scale? Well, that goes all the way up to 4. So since it's positive, I go up, then I come back down to my next tally mark. It's going to hit me right on the x-axis. And I go to my next tally mark, and that's going to go all the way down to the minimum value of -4. And then back up, and there's my cycle right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And then I'm going to go up here to continue the process, and I'll also even continue it down here and here, and I just draw a nice curved graph through here. Not pretty. Anyway, that's what it's doing. It's bouncing in between our range right there, and so forth. Alright, we got a couple more things to do, which I'm not going to have enough time on this, so I'm going to have to go to the next video. Okay? I'll continue where I left off.